Chicken gave us 4 or 5 meals. And it was a great way to save money and kind of do something the same but different every night. So that's kind of where this came from, is just all the stuff we could do. My drink for this evening, my plan was just to say, hey, take whatever liquor you like, throw it on some ice. My wife, the producer, the one holding the camera, said, no, you're not allowed to do that. You have to have an actual drink. So real quick, I'm going to make her favorite drink a ranch water.
Explain what ranch water is.
Ranch, she loves ranch water because it is like a margarita, but without the sugar. It's three ingredients, very simple. The first one is tequila. We will pour in a shot of tequila, and I think really it
has to be a good tequila.
She just wanted something to drink since I'm making her hold this the whole time. And then, so that's a shot of tequila. I'm going to take a lime and juice half of this lime out, fresh lime, give a nice flavor. And then we'll finish it off with some Topo Chico and ranch water. Happy wife. If the camera gets tilty earlier, you know why. Okay, so now let's get into the fun stuff. So the first thing we're going to do, we have the chicken. Most of the time when you roast it, you'll see people tie it with string. You might not have the string at home to truss it yourself. And sometimes it can be difficult. So I'm going to show you a very easy way in which you can do that and still tie it up at home. So what you're going to do is pull this back right here where you have all this extra leg fat. And we're just going to poke a little hole in it. Just like that. Stick our finger through, and we're going to put one leg like this. Where's my hole? There we go. So one like this. This other leg is going to go through this hole to hold everything together. And there we go. And that's just our way that we're going to tie the chicken up. I'm trying to do it too quickly and my stuff is ripping on me. But that's basically how you would do it, to do it and get it nice and even. But that's not what we're doing right now. I'm going to spatchcock it for you to show you how to spatchcock a chicken, which you can also do with turkey because it's going to be the same way, and that you can do for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to take my kitchen shears. Why the spatchcock? The spatchcock is going to give us a little more even of a cook, and it's going to make our skin nice and crispy because we're going to expose all of that up. So I'm going to take my shears and cut out the backbone right here. On both sides, I'm just going to go up one side of the backbone and then up.
You did get some requests to spatchcock.
I did have somebody request a spatchcock, which is why I was happy to do it right now. So I'm going to throw that in there and save it for later. Then you're going to flip this over and just push down just a little bit. You want to make it nice and flat. I will then take paper towel, make sure we're nice and dry.
You can do this with a turkey as well for Thanksgiving.
Yes, you can, just a much larger bird. But yeah, turkey is the exact same way. And the way that I'm breaking this down, if you want to take your turkey and break it down for Thanksgiving, you are more than welcome to. So what I have, all right, so I have a little mixture of seasoning right here: salt, pepper, a little bit of cumin, some garlic powder, some paprika, just a curry, mixture of everything. I'm going to take that, now a little oil to it, and just kind of make this nice rub.
Ranch water is really good.
The ranch water apparently is very good. So, and then I'm just going to rub this down. all over. I have my cast iron right here. I have a little heat on it. I'm going to rub a little underneath the skin where I can to give it some extra flavor. All right, flip it over a little bit. Let's rub some more down. And beautiful. So now I'm just going to take this.
Washing hands break.
All right, there'll be a lot of those this evening. Put a little oil in this pan. There's already some heat on it. And I'm just going to lay this bird right in the pan. I've got my oven set at 385 back there. And I'm going to take this pan and just stick it in the oven and let it cook. And we will revisit that in about 45 minutes or so. So that was the full bird that we have. Next, we are going to pick another bird. Here we go.
We will be eating chicken
For a while. Okay, so I'm going to trim off a little of that fat. And now we are going to break this bird down to 8 different pieces. So that way you'll see all the different things that you can do. So first, I'm going to take out off the wing. And you can see right, just pull up the wing, see where it goes. You can feel where that joint is. And just cut open and then you'll see it. And if you want to, you can kind of break it by yourself or just cut straight through. Here are my wings. All right. Next, I'm going to flip it over. All right. And there's this big fatty area right here between the leg and the breast. And I'm just going to cut that open and then you can really see what you're working with down here. And I'm going to just kind of break that and you'll see the bone pop through. I'm sorry if it's disgusting to you, but this is the food that we eat. It's just, it is what it is. So here, and then this next one, I'm going to break that again. Take that, and the same thing. I know my bone, I can feel where the joint is between the leg and the thigh. And I will cut that as well. This one always helps if you break it. So you're not cutting straight through a lot of bone. Same thing here. And now we have the breast over here. And you have that bone right in the middle. So we're just going to go right down the middle, we'll start cutting. We know where it kind of pushes us to one side. So I'll go down until I feel the bone at the bottom and I'll kind of go backwards. You'll feel that middle piece right there. So you can't go too far off to the side. Once you go back, you can pull this and just go along the bone. You have the tenderloin of the breast and then you're up there. And we're going to just take that breast right off the bone. And then we will do the other side the exact same way.
Daniel, I think you're going to make plenty of chicken soup.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
that is the plan because that was what we used to do all the time. So here, look, I have my 2 breasts right here. I have my thighs, my legs, and my wings. With that backbone, I cut out a spatchcock chicken. It's going in this pot that I already put some celery, carrots, onion, thyme. I will add some water to this in a little bit and some pepper. And now I've got some soup going. And I'm already looking on the meal for a couple days from now with that soup. Or I could not make soup out of it, use the stock, maybe use that for some rice that I'll make later in this week and really make flavorful rice with the stock. So that was the first thing that we broke it apart. Now we're going to do, I'm sorry.
The good tip, the ice cubes, if you with the.
Oh, yes, I forgot. So one of my favorite things to do, it actually revolves around Thanksgiving, is I take all of my extra pieces and I make soup. I'll fill this entire stovetop up with pots and I'll make as much turkey stock as I can. And then I'll reduce it and which basically I'll take everything out after I've gotten all the flavor out of the bones and the veggies, and I'll let it cook at a simmer until it gets from gallons down to a few cups, and I'll pour that into ice cube trays and basically make my own bouillon cubes. So then I can use that for the next couple months whenever I want stock. I've just made a ton of it. So I look forward to that around December, because that's really when that day usually comes by. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to braise some chicken. We braised chicken a couple weeks ago, but it's just one of those great things that we can do. I'm going to do it a different way today. I've got my pan, getting some heat to it. I have some oil in there, and I'm going to take, and this is just something quick. I don't know if I've ever specifically done this recipe, but I know that the flavors work. And for what I'm doing today, it works perfectly. So
Can you use a nonstick pan, or does it have to be?
you could use a nonstick pan for this, especially just for a braise. Later on, we will need an iron pan, a metal pan for this. So I've got my onions in there. I want to brown those a little bit. I have some garlic in there as well. I took a shortcut and bought it from Trader Joe's earlier today. So it came in a nice little baggie for me.
What does braising mean, like compared to
Braising is
sauteing?
cooking at a medium type heat in liquid, not submerged, but in a decent amount of liquid is basically what it is. So I'll tell you one thing that I spent a lot of money on culinary school to learn is that there's really only a handful of techniques of what you can do in cooking, and then it's changing parts out. You can fry, you can roast, you can braise, you can saute, you can boil, you can grill, and then you're kind of, once you can get into, molecular gastronomy and with some other things. But when it comes down to it, that's really the ways to cook. So, and every culture has its own version of the same thing. So we've got some color there. I want to put in, I'm sorry.
What piece of meat?
So I'm just using a thigh here. I'm using a leg here as well. You could brown this ahead of time, but I'm just going to shred this meat, so I'm not really worried about browning it ahead of time. Speaking of braised meat, though, I will say this: we have another take-home meal next week for Shabbat, where we are doing some braised chicken. Completely different flavor than what we're doing here, but it's going to be like kind of almost a Cuban flavored braised chicken, orange and lemon in there, and some other deep flavors. And then you can either put that on a big Southwestern style salad that we're doing, or also this really smooth tortilla soup. And then Nancy is making some Mexican chocolate chip cookies and some lime cookies, and I'm very excited about it. So you should have gotten an email today about it. If not, go to the Untitled Chapter website and you can see the menu, and please place an order. It really helps us out at the synagogue. Where, if you're going to eat out a lot and you're eating at places, then help support the synagogue and give us a shot. And I will mention this again in a little while as well. So
Hashtag ad.
yeah, sorry. It's a plug. I'm not ashamed about it at all. So here we go. So we have our chicken in here. That. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour in my tomato. I'm going to throw in some thyme.
No, good.
I'm gonna add a little bit of water, a little too much. All right. And then there we go. And I'm just gonna let this slowly cook for a while.
Is it on
And
medium?
it's on, I've got this set and I'm gonna switch this out with another pan and move this around. This is gonna be at like a medium high heat, closer to a medium. And we're just gonna let this go for a little while and cook.
Do you need to cover it or no?
You can cover it. I'm not in any rush, so I'm just gonna let that go. And I have a little bit too much liquid in there, so I also wanna let some of that evaporate in the cooking. Okay, perfect. So then the next thing we are going to do, I've already showed you my soup, is we're going to do one of my favorites food in the world is fried chicken. I love fried chicken. It's so delicious. My wife is going to be excited about this fried chicken as well until tomorrow morning when she walks out of the bedroom and the house is going to smell like a fryer. So I'm going to go ahead and say, Rabbi Weinberg asked me to start doing the cooking classes again. So this fried chicken is because of Rabbi Weinberg. So thank you very much, because my wife can't get mad at you. So thank you for the fried chicken. So I have my little fry station set up right here. So I have flour in that we're going to go into first, and I just have a little salt and pepper in this flour. And what that's going to do is let the egg take the next batch of flour that we can give our breading on. So I'm going to actually do 2 different ways to fry this, actually kind of 3. But I'll show you this first one where I'm just going to do it exactly as I said. I'm going straight flour.
It's a wing.
And it's a wing.
I'm the narrator as
And-
well.
And then to my egg mixture, there's no season. I didn't add any seasoning in here. And then to my last group of flour, and there's salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, some paprika, some rosemary, and my oil is not quite hot enough yet. I don't have a temperature. What you want to do when you're frying is to be around 350 or 325 really, and it's a slow cook. What happens is if you start to brown your outside too quickly in the fry oil, then your outside's going to look great and the inside's going to be raw. And then by the time that the inside's cooked, the outside's burned, and then it's just a waste. So you really want to keep that temperature low. I don't have a thermometer here, so it's just guessing. But I know that we're pretty close to that. So I'll go ahead and bread the next one and get the other thing going while this is getting there. So I have one wing, and then I'm also going to do a leg the same way. And then into my flour mixture as well. So while that's going, I'm going to do another.
That smells good.
Okay. So right now I'm going to do something fun. We're going to take the bone out of this thigh right here. And I just cut on both sides. I'm going to get behind this. And I'll show you exactly what I'm doing right here. I kind of cut, and then I'm just pushing the meat down off of the bone. And I'll cut off the very end. And I'm going to take this thigh. I've got a little baggie right here. And I'm gonna put it in here. I have a little hammer. And I'm flattening this out a little bit. Okay. And now I have a flattened thigh. I'm going to do the same type of breading right here as we did earlier. And everything will be nice and sanitized after we're finished with this. And here's my breaded thigh. And I will go from that into the air fryer, which I was against buying for such a long time. My wife got one as a birthday present last year, and I feel like we use it all the time. Right here, my thigh. Now I'm going to go. Good night, Lily. I'm going to do this in the air fryer at 390 for 12 minutes.
This is a side note. If anybody has questions about an air fryer or an Instant Pot, please message me. I love doing questions about that.
Okay, so now my oil is where I want it to be. I'm going to put 2 wings in there. And then the last one I was telling you, I have this wing. I'm skipping the first flour. I'm skipping the egg. I'm going just into the last flour. We're just going to dredge it in some flour and not the whole thing. And we're going to put this in here too. If you're frying at home, I highly, highly, highly recommend getting one of these, a splatter guard. It will not keep all of the oil from getting it out, but it will reduce it by like 80%, and you'll be very happy that you did that. And we're going to let this go. Those are going to take a little while to cook. All right. So frying, beautiful, beautiful. Braised, beautiful. Here, flame. Okay, perfect. What? Okay. All right. So the next thing we're doing. One second, let me move stuff around.
What kind of knives do you use?
What kind of knives do I use? I have, they're J. Welch's is the brand. When we were looking at knives, I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't remember where I got them.
Crate and barrel.
Crate and Barrel, I'm told. And what I recommend people when you're looking at knives is go to a place where you can pick up and touch them, and you want to see the weight in them. You want to see how the weight is distributed. Is it a heavy blade and a really light handle? Is it a heavier handle? What do you like? Do you want something light? Do you want something heavy? Also, one thing to look at is you'll see how these, you have that piece of metal that's going all the way through. That's going to be one piece all the way from here, and it's forged to make that handle. Now, there's some knives where you'll see it, and it's two completely different pieces. You have the blade, and then you have the handle, but you can see right here how this is one solid piece. They put the handle on the side. Similar to like this is just one solid piece all the way through, and that's going to be your best bet.
Can you
With the
review
knife.
what's in there again?
I'm sorry, what's
Can
in
you review
here?
what's in there
We
again?
have just a can of crushed tomatoes, garlic, onion, and thyme. And that is all. I actually want to, I'm going to flip this over. And I would normally put some more food in there, put some more chicken in there, but since we're doing so many things, we're trying to spread it a little thin. Okay, so next, this is the first thing that I probably consistently cook. And if I were to guess, it's probably the first thing that I ever made my wife as well. So it's great for a skinless chicken breast, rather than with the skin on. We're going to do one with the skin on in just a couple minutes. In this bag, I went ahead and got it ready. I have some spicy mustard. That's the key. The other stuff is whatever, you can add it or not add it, but the spicy mustard here is really what it's about. But then I added some soy sauce, some garlic powder, some paprika. Now I'm gonna put this in here and just move this around. If you have the time, put this chicken in here a little bit early and let it sit for an hour and get even more flavor. But this is gonna be nice for what I'm working with. My pan is heating up. We're almost ready to go. And so I like to do this one on the grill a lot outside, but I'm not gonna run back and forth. So I use my little grill pan to kind of simulate using a real grill.
It's olive oil.
What?
Olive oil.
A little oil down, just because we're cooking, we don't want anything to stick. Wonderful. And then here is the mustard covered chicken, and we're just gonna go right down on the grill braise. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Hey, Daniel, can you talk about the different oils you're using? Are you only using olive oil for all of these dishes, or is there a different oil you use for fried chicken versus grilled chicken?
Oh, thank you. So
Good question.
in here in that fried chicken, I'm using vegetable oil. What you really need to check out if you're doing that is you want to make sure that you can have an oil that can get to a high heat before it smokes. Vegetable oil, I believe, can get up to close to 400 before it's going to smoke. And since our kind of temperature we're shooting for is 325, that's good. If we use olive oil gets to like 180 before it's going to start to smoke. It would burn before we could ever get anywhere near the frying temperature. Vegetable oil, canola oil, peanut oil are really your three best ones for frying. While it's going, I'm gonna take a little look. It's looking pretty.
Where can you get the recipes?
Where
Yeah,
these recipes? So what I'll do is I'll type up stuff and we'll get it out to everybody. If I got an RSVP from you from Stool Cloud, I will send them out to you. If not, then just email me at eventboard@entreflora.com and I will be happy to send anything. And also, if you have any just random questions about something that I've done, something on the menu, please just ask. I'm happy and to respond. I'll try to respond as fast as possible. But yeah, I'm happy to answer questions for people if they would like it. So the last thing that we're going to get going while everything is finishing. That's nice. I'm going to do a little turn here so you can make real marks. Beautiful, beautiful. Very happy.
This is chicken more than 4 ways.
What?
This is chicken
Yeah,
more than.
no, I said it was going to be chicken more than 4 ways. So the last one we're going to do is we're going to do chicken like you would get in a nice restaurant. If you were to order, a chicken breast at a fancy restaurant where this chicken breast that would cost you $6 to make at home or less, that when you see it on that menu where they give you some green beans and then they charge you $25 for a piece of chicken, this is how they're going to make it. So first thing, I have my pan on. I need to get that hot. And then oil, because I want that to also get very, very hot.
Does it
as
have
well.
to be a non-stick?
Yeah, so for what we want the crust to look like, we want this to be a non-stick pan. I'm going to go ahead and turn that over. I got some nice grill marks on that. Put it down up here. My chicken, I am going to flip over here. Very happy with way that looks. And you can see right here, there's the dreads and there's the full fry. So that's going to still, it's going to give you a nice, crispy, fried-like consistency. It's not soaking up the oil that is.
It's not healthier.
It's not healthier. I want to say it's a healthier version, but I mean, we're still cooking stuff in a lot of oil. So it's not really healthier, but it's not as bad for you as that we'll go with. Okay. So, all right, so need that oil to get a little hotter. One good way that you can check oil, some people like to throw water in it. That is not a good way to do it. That oil might splash back to you, burn your face, burn your eyes, your arms. When that oil is high, especially for something like sauteing vegetables or cooking something in the pan, you're going to see how it's going to start moving through this pan very quickly. You'll see ribbons in the oil as it's moving through. And that's when you know that you're getting to that temperature that you need. So with this chicken, this last breast I have,
Does the oil need to cover the chicken entirely when you're frying it?
and the fryer, no, I wanted to do, if you're deep frying it, if you have a deep fryer, if you have the ability, you can. There's no problem with having it completely submerged in the oil. For doing it at home, I try not to do that. It ends up being a little bit more oil than I need. Then it also gets messy when I'm trying to get rid of it afterwards. When you're doing it like this and kind of doing one side and another, it works perfectly. So it's a little easier way, and so that's kind of what we're going to do here. So I just have this last one. We're going salt and pepper, and this hot pan. I'm going, and notice how I'm laying this down away from me, so that way the oil doesn't splash back at me when I'm doing it. She's going to step back just a hair, but I've got that down. I've got that skin side down in a hot pan, and this is going right to the oven. My oven's at 400 degrees, and we're just going to let that sucker cook in there. We have that. Something funny there. That's okay. So we're going to let that go in the oven. You have that skin side down on a very, very hot pan. So all it's going to do while it's cooking is that skin is just going to get so crispy that when it's finished, it's going to be probably the best part of the whole system. So give me 1 second to wipe some stuff down while everything is going. If you have any questions, please ask them. I'm happy to answer.
So we have the fried chicken, the grilled chicken, the braised chicken, the chicken soup, the air fried chicken that's about to be finished. Oh, that was perfect. And then a whole spatchcock chicken here. If anybody doesn't have an air fryer, I would highly recommend one. And I don't work for an air frying company if anybody's curious.
I'm curious. Will you tell us?
Oh, no, I don't work for an air frying company, but I use it all the time. Stuff straight out of the freezer, chicken wings. We make schnitzel in it all the time. Brussels sprouts, green beans, salmon, everything in the air fryer. I didn't think I would use it, but I use it probably every day.
It looked good. I just want to give it another couple minutes.
Can you use avocado oil?
Can you use avocado to fry? Off the top of my head, I have no idea what the smoking point is of avocado oil. Really just Google that smoking point of avocado oil. And if you're getting to the upper 300s, then you're good to go. If it's that low 200 temperature oil, then I would not recommend frying in it, but you could still saute in it perfectly.
What does it feel like when it's done, Daniel?
So, what does it feel like when it's done was the question?
That's my question.
Oh, that's Rebecca's question.
I think people would like to know that.
So here's a little thing that I learned in culinary school. Here, this is worth all the money and everything else I learned for free. if you take your hand like this and you touch your thumb and your index finger together, that is a feeling of a steak at medium rare. That's a medium, that's a mid-well, and then that's a well done. So 135, 145, 155, 165. So with chicken, you really want it to feel more of that well done thing, because you don't want to eat raw chicken. Steak you can eat undercooked. Chicken, I would not recommend that. So, and also your best bet in not worrying about feeling things is just get a thermometer, plug it in there, and you'll know without any guessing.
I have a question, Daniel. How long do you cook salmon in the air fryer? I do it. I salt and pepper it. I put a lemon slices on it. I put it in there for 390 for 8 minutes, and that's all. Not to.
Did somebody ask you that question?
Yeah,
or did you just decide to do it on your own?
somebody asked me. I'm not taking over.
So I just checked this chicken. We're at about 30 minutes or so. We've got some nice color on it. We're working. We're not there yet. It's way too soft still, but it's coming together nicely. This other chicken right here, you can see we're still very raw, but it's cooking as well. It's coming together for us.
Show me.
Oh, sorry.
What was in the one on the grill pan again?
This is in the grill pan.
This is just a grill pan.
What's in
what is
yeah.
it? It's a chicken breast. I use mustard, spicy brown. Picampi works great for this recipe. And then I did it in a bag. So there's a little, there's just some garlic powder, some paprika, some onion powder. I did some soy sauce in it too, and just let it sit. If I could let it sit for an hour, I would, trying to get it done fast for everybody. So it was in there for maybe a minute, 2 minutes. But it'll still be flavorful. But if you get that extra time, then go for it. You can also put some dried rosemary in it too. I think dried rosemary goes with chicken phenomenally. So here is our air fried chicken thigh. We could have gone thinner, made it more like schnitzel. But that's all there is to it. It's great piece of fried chicken without this mess in 15 minutes. All right, I'm happy with that. What? Oh, okay.
Did you spray the air fryer before you?
I did not spray the air fryer. I did one time and was told not to spray the air fryer. So I have not since. I know that some air fryers you're supposed to fry ahead of time and some you are not. And I believe ours I was told not to, so that's what I will do.
And we didn't preheat it either. Some people like to preheat it
Same thing.
before.
Sometimes they need to be preheated. This does not. My chicken, my breast feels good right here. I'm going to take this out and let that sit for a couple minutes. Let the juices kind of flow around the inside for a couple minutes as that finishes out. All right. I want to check my my fried chicken is good. It's good. I'm very excited about this. All right. So look it over one more time and
We have people that are wanting to be the testers, taste testers.
you know, as soon as we can open this up to the public, then yeah, we can get some food testers here. And then here is my fried chicken, and you can really see that difference between the full breaded with the egg and just the dredge. Let's see. I know that's finished. I can feel as it's going in. Oh, it is not. That's finished. Okay. So my thigh is finished. My leg is still needs another couple minutes, so we'll let that go. And let's check on what. Let's see where we are here. Still looking good. All right, so that's kind of where we are. My timing of stuff is, all over the place right now. But our breast is a couple minutes out. Our spatchcock chicken is a couple minutes out. I'm going to add some water so I can get some heat on this soup so we can get that going. Maybe have it ready later this evening. Yeah.
This would be really good to put on pasta. Tomato sauce.
Oh, yes.
So this is only one chicken with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different 6 soup too.
Right, and then afterwards, I mean, it will work fine with the fried chicken, but for each of these meals, whatever you have left over, you add some mayo, some mustard, and then you have chicken salad. So that's just another meal that you could add on to the end of it. It's a great way to save some money and eat and get to experiment with a lot of different things, because you could have done this with any of it. You could have fried the breast. You could have fried the thigh. You could braise the wings and the breast. You could do any of these with any different piece of the chicken. This is just what I picked to do each piece of tonight. So it really just shows how universal the chicken is. And then, as I was saying earlier, how that cooking is just different techniques and subbing out the different foods and flavors. It's the same thing. I'll make this, we could have taken a steak and done a steak and onions and some sauce. We could have, you could pound it down, make a chicken fried steak. You can do it in a pan and in the oven like that, where you don't want to take this, a nice steak piece, but you could then take the beef and the random cuts and make a stock with it and make a beef stew with it. There's so many different things, but it's all the same techniques that we're doing. We're just going to swap out flavors, swap out proteins, and have so many different meals. Yes.
Can you tell people how to dispose of the oil? Because I didn't know how to do that either. So I think people might be interested.
So yes, that's a great question. So do not ever put oil down the drain. If you ever have put oil in the fridge, you notice that it hardens up. Well, that's going to happen once it gets into your drains. It's going to clog your drains up. Stuff that you can buy over the counter is not going to clear it up. You're going to need to get probably a plumber to come out and so never ever put your fry oil down your drain. I usually have a glass jar that I'll put it in. When I fill up the glass jar, I will just throw it in the trash. There's places that you can dispose of it as well, but I've always at home thrown it in the trash. At large restaurants or hotels or something, they'll have people that come by and pick it up and they filter it and can use it for so many different things at that point. But yeah, just don't put it down your drain unless you want a lot of plumbing problems. So I am happy with that. We're going to shut this off and I watch it. That thigh is just going to fall apart in here. This is going to fall apart very easily too. We have some nice braised meat and some, and that'll be like she said, it'll be great in pasta. It'll be great just as on the side. It'll be great if I wanted to put it in a taco. Really, we could do anything with this pasta. And it was just a few ingredients: the chicken, the onion, the tomato. You could have done the thyme. You didn't have to use the thyme. If you had dry, you could have used that instead. We could have done the whole chicken in there if we wanted to. All right, that is going still. That's going. Okay. I'm going to tip this, see where we are. It's gotten even browner since the last time we looked. I'm sticking the thermometer into the thigh, because that's a good place to check it first. And I'm going to go into the breast, and those are the two thickest pieces. And that thigh was finished. That breast is we still have some time on it. I'm not sure actually if we're going to finish it right now because it does still need a little work. When I first heard of spatchcocking, people said that it's a faster way to cook it. I've never found it to be faster. If I did a whole bird and just put it in there, I feel like it cooks about the same amount of time. But you've got the crispier skin because you're exposing it all, versus where if you do it breast side up, you have those thighs on the bottom that are just that skin is not going to get crispy for you if that's what you want out of your chicken. So do not grab the pan barehanded. You will make that mistake one time and one time only. All right, I just want to get a little bit more heat on the skin right there. And then oil for what I'm doing next. Oh. All right. Turn that down a little bit. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to throw some thyme in the side, and I'm just going to tilt this. Please. And as this goes, I'm going to get some juices from the chicken that are going to drop down. And all I'm going to do is spoon that back onto the chicken. And that's going to get flavored. The juices are going to get flavored with this thyme that I threw in. And we're just going to keep on throwing it back on there. So now I'm reintroducing the fat and the goodness from the chicken, but now it's been flavored in thyme. And so I'll let that rest. I'm gonna let that sit in the pan for a minute. and that will be our delicious steak. So I'm just going to leave you right here because, like I said, that spatchcock's going to take a little bit longer to finish up. And
How long was the breast in the oven for before
the
you?
breast was in the oven for about, I think it was about 8 minutes or so. And this is a thick breast. Sometimes if they're a little thinner, it's not going to take quite as long. The tender one was still on it, which made it even thicker. So that's going to take a little bit longer.
At 400?
Yeah, I said it at 400. I did turn it up a little bit. So I would, if when you're doing it at home, I would do it at about 450. I think would be great temperature.
How long does that cook?
This, my stock so textbook says you will get all the flavor out of the chicken bones in about 2 hours. I don't like textbooks that much all the time, so I usually let mine go. I'll let it go for about, let's see, I started at 8, so I'll probably pull the chicken out around 3, and then, or not, at 3 hours, and then strain it. I'm not making cubes with it. I will probably make soup, so I'll cool that down. I'll put it in the fridge. I'll let it cool, and then tomorrow I'll make soup with it. Or probably on Friday for Shabbat. Anything else?
Can we see the chicken from the air fryer? Is it
Sure.
still in the air fryer? Oh, so it's much crispier.
Mhm.
Yes.
And this doesn't have a bone, so.
Yeah, I took the bone out, so it changes shape quite a bit. I will. What was that?
Oh, how do you turn the stock into soup?
How you try to strain it and then kind of do whatever you want. Really, you're just taking the same thing and making 2 different names of it. The stock is kind of just the generic. What we have here, when we strain everything out and we start using it for a soup, then it's chicken broth. It turns into our soup. We add orzo to it. We add some vegetables to it. We add our onion, after we cook out these onions, we add new onions and carrots and matzo balls. And now we have matzo ball soup. So really, that's really the difference is you're almost splitting hairs here. And then I will also say again, while I still have you, we put out the menus today for the next entree meal at home.
What's entree at home, Daniel? To pick up food.
Well, there's many things for entree at home, but for what we're doing in the kitchen, we're just doing some meals. We know a lot of people are ordering out, so you're not cooking at home every single day. And we're just trying to be the place that you go. Really, it's every other week. We put the menu out. We have 5-7 days, some of them a little bit shorter, but plenty of time for you to see the menu, order, and then we'll pick up Friday afternoons so that you can go home and enjoy it Friday night for dinner. You can enjoy it Saturday, whenever you like it. You don't have to eat it on Shabbat or any specific time. But again, this week we have a braised chicken, not this braised chicken, completely different braised chicken with a big Southwestern salad and a tortilla soup. The dressing with the Southwestern salad is a charred lime vinaigrette. I'm going to take those limes. I'm going to get a pan hot as I can, and I'm going to blacken the top of those limes in the pan. And that's going to really change the flavor of that lime juice. And it's kind of surprising how much it changes the flavors. I've done it with lemons as well. It really, it's crazy how different that flavor. If you have some at home, if you're making some fish this week at home, or maybe you're making, making fish on the grill, buy a lemon, grill that lemon and squeeze that onto your fish, and you will taste something that you really just have never tasted before.
I got a question about spatchcocking a chicken in the air fryer. I actually haven't done a spatchcock chicken, but I do a whole chicken in the air fryer all the time. I don't know the exact time, but it's about an hour, and I just season it like he did and put the whole thing straight in the air fryer, and it's really good.
I'm not sure that the air fryer was big enough to fit a whole to spatchcock a chicken in. You could buy a Cornish hen and probably spatchcock it in an air fryer. But really, when the air fryer is kind of a misleading term, I'll say, because it doesn't fry. What it actually is doing is a high-powered speed oven. It's moving air around so fast at such a high temperature that it's giving you this sensation of a crispy cook. So you look at it, you can tell it's the same thing. It is might as well have been fried, but the flavor is so close. I love doing my wings in the air fryer, calling them fried wings, and feel a lot better after eating that than after eating this. But it's a little bit of a misleading term to call it an air fryer because it's really a high speed oven. Again, back to the meals at Anche. Some people have got an email that went out this afternoon about the meals. Others go to the Anche Tour website. You'll see a little cartoon of me, and that is where to do it. And the desserts this time, Miss Nancy's doing those Mexican chocolate chip cookies and these lime glazed cookies that are so good. My doctor's going to yell at me because I eat way too many of her sweets because her sweets are delicious.
Daniel, is there avocado on the salad?
No, there's not avocado. And I'll tell you the reason that I did not do avocado, or that I'm not doing avocado on the salad, is I don't want to cut it up and let it brown before I get
Yes.
to you.
Okay.
And then, or to put like citric acid is a good way to keep it from browning, but there's no reason to put that on there. Lime juice and lemon juice, I feel works sometimes, but doesn't. But that's kind of why I'm leaving the avocado off.
Okay, because the photo showed avocado.
So with a lot of these things, I've made these things, but I have not made them in Anche or made them where I took a picture. So if I did take a picture, I know Wanda or Kay have just kind of grabbed a picture and used that to kind of show you
Yes.
what it is, but it's not specifically what I have made.
Okay. I like the mushroom stuffed cabbage.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll say as I'm watching the soup kind of start to get some heat to it, you're going to get mineral deposits that come up and things. So some people will just leave those there. You can, it's fine. It's almost like not the dirt, but the dirtier things that float to the top. You can leave that, or you can pull that out as it comes up. And as well as the fat, you'll see it boil, and it's going to push the stuff off the side. And that stuff off the side, just skim it off and throw it away. It's going to give you a cleaner looking broth. It's not going to change the flavor at all if you leave that or take it away, but it's going to be a lot clearer if you get that stuff out of there and let it cook. And
If y'all have any ranch water questions or air fryer questions, I will answer those as well.
What's the brand of air fryer that you use?
It's on the top. I forgot about it.
Go Wise USA.
Go Wise USA.
All right. Well, thank y'all, everybody. I'll give y'all one last look at the. That's where we are with that spatchcock chicken. It's coming together. It's just not quite there yet. And great. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope to see y'all next week for some food pickup. Or also, we are offering, just announced today, if you can't make it to pick up, we have kind of worked out with some Uber drivers to do deliveries for the Anche meals. I believe it's a $15 flat fee on deliveries. And we're looking at a 15-mile radius from the synagogue, just for something. If you can't make it to pick it up, we're just trying to accommodate everybody. And then we will be back here in 2 weeks. I don't remember if it's Wednesday or Thursday night in 2 weeks. And we're
Thursday,
going to the 12th, I'm told. And that we're going to be doing some Thanksgiving fall style foods. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Thanksgiving is just, it's that great holiday that you just stuff yourself with so much food. So I love it.
Is that what it's?
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you so much. This was great. And I want to remind everybody also, if you go to YouTube, you can look for the Congregation Anshe Torah page, and all of the classes are posted there. So if you ever want to review and look back at something that Daniel does, you can take a look there as well. And if you haven't signed up for the 12th, there's still time to sign up for that. And we will be sending out recipes in advance for that class, and hopefully a fun drink recipe so you can come prepared with your favorite drink and prepare to cook with Daniel.
Thank you, Robin.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
Thank you so
everything.
much.
But the next one, you will have all of your recipes ahead of time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Daniel.
Thank y'all.
That was great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's the same. I just ate supper on it.